Okay. I'm going to ask you guys to do some writing this morning. Does everybody have a pen and paper that you could tear off, write something on? If you don't, I got some note cards. Anybody need a note card? Some note cards here? All right, I'm going to give you two. Yep. Note cards. It'll be simple, all right? Jason, I've met you before. Yeah. Any note cards here? Yes, sir. There you go. You guys can I don't have a pen. I'm sorry. You guys can share one. Anybody else? Right back here. There you go, Jim.
Thanks, sir.
You guys good? All right. Oh, seriously? Freaking these guys in blue over here, jokers. Hey. All right. Oh, you guys. There you go. Oh, thanks, Mike. Always prepared. I appreciate that. So the guys were giving me heck for not wearing a company shirt this morning, but when you get your logo tattooed on your bicep, you don't have to. So you can wear whatever shirt you want. I'm not sure if Mark Stoner would approve that, but I guarantee if you got your got the logo tattooed on you, he might be a little bit more lax on the apparel. So this morning, we are going to talk about culture. Title is, What's Culture Got to Do with It? And at this point in time, you're probably thinking back to one of two things, Tina Turner or Warren G, if you're a product of the 80s or 90s. And you guys are thinking like, yeah, Tina Turner, but like Warren G? And then you're probably thinking about regulators, you know? And then all of a sudden, you know, it just goes all downhill from there. Or maybe that's just me. And from the looks of the crowd, I think it's just me. Especially all these guys from Tennessee. You got me? You got me. I like you. We're going to talk after this, okay? We're going to talk after this. So we're going to talk about culture. Now, I'm an abstract thinker, which means I have a really hard time getting my thoughts into a concise kind of manner. And we're going to talk about something that's very abstract. So we're kind of going to be along for a ride because I'm not sure how exactly this is going to end up. But our goal is to help us all understand a little bit more about culture. And I tell you what, I'm in the same seat as you. Who here ever gets confused by what culture is? We say like, oh man, they have great culture. Okay, what is that? I don't know. We walk into a place, we go to a new state, we go to a restaurant, we go to a new country, and we say we love their culture. Okay, what do you love? Show me culture. And we look at that and we're like, I don't know where to go with that. And so we're going to try to talk about what is culture, why culture, and how do we get culture, okay? So we're going to talk about those three things. I'm not certain that I can take an hour and a half of your time to discuss culture. So we'll probably be out of here a little bit sooner, which probably by the end of a conference, you're probably excited about that. So we probably won't take an hour and a half. At the end of all of this, if you guys have any questions, be happy to just answer questions for you guys. I've never done a PowerPoint before, and I put this together last night about 10:30. Penny was asking for it like 3 weeks ago, and I finally decided to throw something together. Okay, chimney in a box. So you guys, who here is usually out working on chimneys right now? A lot of you guys are working in and around chimneys, many of us, so you guys are probably itching, or you're loving the fact that you haven't worked on a chimney in like 3 days, right? What is it? Are you itching to get back to work? Or are you really enjoying like butt and chair time? Mixed feelings. I like that, mixed feelings. So here's what I want you to do, okay? So we're going to build a chimney. Not really. I want you guys to list on a piece of paper all the components of a chimney from top to bottom, okay? You guys have seen those diagrams, right? So I want to get the idea and the thoughts that we're going to talk about chimneys, fireplaces, masonry out of your head, because culture has nothing to do with any of those things, okay? So it doesn't matter about code, doesn't have anything to do with performance, what you like, what you don't like. We're not going to talk about any of that. So write down on that piece of paper that I gave you from top to bottom or from bottom to top, all the different components of a chimney, okay? And then I'm going to have you throw them in this box right here. Okay, chimney in a box. So when you look at a chimney, you start thinking about all the different components, right? You start analyzing it, you start thinking through it. You go on a chimney appointment, you go on a fireplace appointment. First thing you do is you start assessing what's there, what's not there, what's broken, what's not broken. what the customer wants to happen, what they don't want to happen, all those things. And so all of those different things make up a chimney, right? So that's why we got a chimney in a box right here. All those things make up a chimney. Now, the question is, culture. What makes up culture? What is culture? All right? And so we're going to end up talking about that. So I can't show you culture. There you go. I can't just put something in front of you and say, here's culture, right? Can't put anything in front of anybody and say, here's this. What that is made up of a bunch of other things to get there. Is a 2x4 a house? Is a brick a chimney? Is a crown a chimney? Is a flue tile a chimney? No, it's not. So it's a culmination of a bunch of stuff, right? So now we're going to move on to culture. So I want you guys you're going to have to think a little bit harder here, but what is culture? What makes up culture? If you said, man, at Ashbusters or at CMO or at 317 Sweep or at the CSIA or whatever it is for you, Coastal Chimney, and you say, yeah, we got culture, we got good culture. Okay, what is that? Me and my team walk into the office or when we walk into a customer's house and they experience us, they say, man, they have a what? They have a great culture. What is that? What are they saying? What are they communicating? What are you communicating? So what is your culture? Whatever you think it is, throw it in there, okay? This was a slide like at the very end, but I'm going to bring it up to the front. It's like when you're making cookies or a great cup of coffee. I don't know if you know this, but there's a right and a wrong way to make coffee and cookies. To make coffee, you have to have the right beans. Who likes coffee here? We all like coffee. There's good and bad coffee, right? So to make good coffee, you have to have the right beans that aren't crazy old. You have to grind them and have the right amount of coffee for the amount of water that you're going to use for the amount of coffee that you want to make. You have to have the right kind of grinder. You have to have the right type of coffee maker. You have to have the right temperature of water that's going to cause the beans and the grinds to marinate appropriately and give you a great cup of coffee, right? All those things matter for a great cup of coffee. Or you can just throw some grinds in a filter and throw some water in there and hit the button. There you go, right? It's coffee at the end of the day, but it's not great coffee. Same thing with cookies. Who knows how to make cookies? This guy knows how to make cookies. You got eggs, you got flour, you have butter. Yeah. You just open the package. You have a proper temperature, right? You have the amount of time that those things need to cook. And that's how you make cookies. It's not a free-for-all. There's a way in which you say, I made you cookies. There's something that goes into it, right? Culture is that. Culture is good. Culture is great. Cookies are good. Cookies are great. But if you put garlic in cookies, it's no good. So what are you putting into your culture box? All right. Who's ready? Put their answers in here. Here we go. Okay. So, what's culture got to do with it? There we go. So guys, we're going to dive into culture a little bit. So culture has everything to do with it because business is people and people create culture. So this is where we're going to shift from, I don't want to talk about chimneys and fireplaces. We just want to talk about what culture is. And culture is you, all right? And your culture can go anywhere and be part of anything. You don't have to be doing anything related to your profession. So culture has everything to do with it because business is people and people create culture. So if you like your culture, you get to be part of that. If you don't like your culture, you're part of the problem. Is that fair to say? Because it's people. So culture is overlooked and at best stumbled upon, but it's as real and strategic as your most detailed SOP. We may know how to sweep a chimney, but if we don't create a unique culture, for our team, we're overlooking the most valuable part of our business. In initially reading that, do you believe that? Is that communicated to you? Do you believe that culture would be the most valuable part of your business? Do you believe that culture is the most valuable part of your team? Absolutely. Who has a strategic plan as to how they create culture? Now, when you hire a new person, or when you were a new person hired on, were you taught how to sweep a chimney? Were you taught how to sell work? Were you taught how to fill out an inspection report? Were you taught how to use fall protection? If you're at CMO, you weren't taught, but we're working on that, right, Chris? I'm just throwing myself right underneath the bus. But you were taught these things because they matter. If you're a good company, maybe you have a bunch of SOPs. If you're a good company, you just haven't got there yet. Maybe you do or you don't, but you know you should, right? But who's ever thought about having a standard way of doing culture? A standard way in which we do what we do in light of culture. So we believe it's maybe the most valuable part of our business, but what are we strategically doing to actually create that and to ensure that that's who we are and what we do and what we believe every time we walk into the office, every time a customer interacts with us? So fireplaces, man, I just said we weren't going to talk about fireplaces anymore. Fireplaces, chimneys, and masonry don't inspire people, but culture does. I know, that's like worthy of, we're at a chimney sweep conference, right? We're here to learn about chimneys and masonry and fireplaces. But don't get me wrong, just in case I forgot to say that, don't get me wrong. I'll be the first person to geek out on a well-poured crown. I'll be the first person to geek out on a nicely restored chimney. Who here loves a great brick match? Gosh, there's so many nuances to a great brick match, right? The texture, the different color tones that blend together with other colors of different bricks around it. The edges, the corners, the size. And for you to blend the old with the new and to do it in a way that walks away and you're like, gosh, I don't even know where we started and where we ended. I geek out on that stuff. I love it. Who doesn't love stoking a fire early in the morning on a cool morning? We love it. That's why we're in the fireplace business. We love it. But culture tells us why those things matter and why we love them. Culture is the thing that suggests why we actually geek out on the things that we do. If you don't have culture, then those things are just a means to an end. What's the end? Money in your pocket, bills getting paid, maybe a little bit extra cash to do something that you want to do that week. It's just a means to an end. But when you have culture, fireplaces, chimneys, and masonry actually means something. So culture tells us why those things matter and why we love them. So what is culture? Does anybody want to go on a ledge here and tell me what culture is? We are being recorded. Yes, sir.
I mean, simply it'd be the personality or the attitude of the company.
It's very good. I like that. Personality or attitude of a company. It's really good. What else? We all agree with that? I think it's good. So here's my definition. It's hard to find a definition on the internet of what culture is. Usually culture is viewed in light of a country. So culture is like a country's religion, their beliefs, their philosophy of the way in which they operate. It's things of that nature. It's a culmination of those things. But as a fireplace company, it's not about what we eat. It's not about what our religious background is, right? So culture is the culmination of a company's vision, values, and beliefs expressed through the personality of its people. Does that make sense? So when we take this box, our culture box, what do we put in here? I would say we put in a culmination of what our vision is, our values, and our beliefs. We shake it all up, and then you guys and your personality make up our culture. So, why culture? I don't know, great question. What did I say? So, we're going to talk about culture, three things. Why culture? So, who here never knew anything about the chimney, fireplace, masonry industry until you started working for a company? Most of us, right? You knew nothing about it. So what happens when you go to a company and they say, you say, hey, I'm looking for a job. They're like, okay, great. So what we're hiring for is people that want to risk their lives on a regular basis, get on roofs, get really dirty every day, breathe in a bunch of crap, get inside a dirty space that no man has ever been on since it was built. You may or may not make great money. You'll work in cold, hot, all the above. You may interact with bats, bugs, spiders, you name it, right? Oh yeah, and mortar and all that stuff can cause cancer on your skin. And we'll start you out at 15, 18 bucks an hour. Who wants that job? No one wants that job. Unless you're desperate. Who's ever been desperate? Me, because I took that job, right? I took that job. That's how I got started. So, if we're recruiting and building a team, what do we present to people? We kind of polish that up a little bit, don't we? So, who here has ever interviewed someone? So tell me about that. When you're interviewing someone that doesn't know anything about chimney, masonry, fireplaces, and you're talking to them about a job at your company, what are you selling them on? Why would they want to come work for you? Do you kind of tell them everything that I just said? I'm not saying you don't tell them those things, right? You don't want to, it's not like the old bait and switch, you know? That's real, right? That's a big part of it. But what causes them to be okay with that? Tell me about that. So let's just kind of spitball together. What causes you to be okay with that? What is it?
What our vision is for a company, where we want to be. That's how I got a lot of people recently, is we're a growing company.
So what's your vision?
You're starting out slow, towards the bottom.
Yep.
Teaching you a trade, and you're going to grow with the company.
Yeah. So there's opportunity. It's a growing industry, and you can grow with it. So what would be your vision specifically? Do you know how to?
I don't have like a good vision statement yet, but it's basically around developing our team as our family.
Team is your family.
And treat them how I would want to be treated if I was an employee somewhere else.
So team is like family. Treat them the way I want to be treated. Who here wants to be part of something? Who here's on social media? Okay, you want to be part of something, right? We all want to be part of something. We want to be known for something. So what's your name, sir?
Andy.
Andy, when Andy hires someone and he talks about family being part of something, opportunity for growth, man, I want to be part of that. I need someone to believe in me and give me opportunity, right? That's inviting. I'd be interested in that. What else?
We want to give them a path to where they want to get to. So, and traveling through us is a way to make them better as a human being, not just at the trade.
Okay, so help them get better and put them on a path that will help them achieve personal goals, professional goals, internal goals that they have. They may not know that they have those, right? Things that they want to develop within themselves. Very good. So there is just development of people. Would you want to hire someone that didn't care to be developed? Nah, man, I'm good. I'm freaking pretty awesome, actually. I don't need to be developed. Who's hired that guy? Right? No one wants to hire that guy. So someone that wants to be developed, that's good. You create them, you give them a path to develop. What else?
Team playing, hard work, ethic.
Team player, hard work. Is hard work inspirational? Yes.
And some people I don't mind.
So what if you said, you know what? One of our values is we work hard. And then someone's like, they come into an interview. Chris, you guys ever had these? Come to an interview. Yeah, man, I'm just looking for a job, I mean, I work tomorrow, let me know about the next day. Right? You don't want that guy. Anybody ever met that guy? Yeah, we've met that guy, right? So if you have a value that says, man, we like to work hard. We take pride in that. We like our industry, our craft, and we take pride in that. Man, yeah, I've never done anything that I've taken pride in. This guy takes pride in it. I want to take pride in something. I want to work hard. We got a guy like that right now. Just got hired on. Wants to work hard. What else? Working hard. I like that. Yes, sir.
The way I picture it is, or the way I go about it, just during, meeting a company for the first time, like when I first started. Yes, they were interviewing me, but I was interviewing them. Am I a good fit for them?
Very good.
Can my culture, do I feel compatible with them during this interview? You can read people and kind of understand what their pride is versus yours. It's like, hey, is this going to be a good match?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like matchmaking, huh?
Feel the vibe really quick.
Yeah, that's good. Feel the vibe. Energy, right? That's really good. So, you have a personal culture that is, what's your name, sir? Bryson. Bryson has a personal culture. That is him. When you meet Bryson, if you know Bryson, you're like, man, this is Bryson. That's his culture of who he is. So what were you looking for in a company that says, I align well with them? What was that for you?
So it was a big step for me moving because, I'm pretty young, but I worked for a company for 5 years. Culture was horrible, but I didn't know anything about culture. And because I worked for Ashbusters, during the hiring, they brought that up a lot, which raised my eyebrows. So it's kind of like, hey, that's awesome, because I didn't know about it.
Yeah. So when you went from a company that had bad culture, could you kind of define that a little bit? Could you explain what that felt like?
So the bad culture was between us workers, we traveled all over.
Yeah.
Us workers versus upper management. There wasn't the communication of feeling comfortable calling them with a problem.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, hey, that's the first thing I do instead of freak out. The first thing I do is call somebody with my problem and know that they're going to help me fix it.
You feel like people care for you, whereas the other company, no one cared.
Right. Well, it's a big thing whenever, don't tell me you don't know. You can tell me you don't know, but follow up with, I'll figure it out for you. Or I will help you figure it out.
Yep.
Number two, there's a lot of I don't knows, and now it's, I don't know right now, but we'll figure it out. That's a big step.
Mm-hmm.
You don't expect everybody to know everything, but when you have a problem, if you're willing to figure it out as a team, that's a huge step.
Yeah, so culture would be, you put this in a box, you put collaborating on how we solve problems and bring about solutions, right? Versus saying, hey, I ain't got time for this. I'm up here, you're down here, you go figure it out, and if you don't make the right decision, well, that's not going to look good. What else do you got? One more thing. If you're hiring someone, you're interviewing someone, what's some things that hard work, opportunity, a career path, personal development, a helpful culture, what else? What are you presenting to people? What are you selling people?
We're offering education
Okay.
and development of your skills and how to move beyond just learning something and making mistakes, but being able to go beyond that.
Yeah. Encouraging people. So you're encouragement. You're an encourager. You educate people. So hey, Bob, I know that you don't know anything about fireplaces, chimney, or masonry, but one thing about working here is that we are really committed to your education. So there's a lot of things that you don't know, but when you come here over the next 3 months, we're going to get you from here to there in 3 months so that you can feel confident as you go out there and work with homeowners so that you can serve them. That feels good. I want to be part of that, right? That feels really good. Education, I love it. Anything else? Sam?
Cool swag.
Freaking, of course, man. Cool swag. Hey, that's cool swag. It's a big one. I like that, yeah. Cool swag, definitely. I know he's kind of joking a little bit, but he's not. It's cool. It's good. So, cool swag. Anything else? Yes, sir?
Trust.
Trust.
Yeah.
Can you flesh that out a little bit?
So, like for a management side, you got to be able to trust the guy you're sending out to people's homes.
Yep.
You got to trust his decisions at the end of the day. And from the technician side, you got to trust his upper management's not going to set you out, like Bryson was saying, just leave you out there in the cold and not offer any support or a solution or backup. You know what I mean? So
Yes, sir.
from the smallest thing to the biggest thing, you know what I mean? You got to have that thing, and it's hard to have that early on without some kind of relationship. So
Yeah.
it's a risk.
So you said support, right? Or trust. You said
Trust, yeah.
trust. How do you get trust?
It's a process.
It's a process. What's that look like at Ashbusters?
Well, I mean, every day something, an opportunity breaks itself where it's an opportunity to build trust or to another way, to grow the way. So
Yeah.
It's the little decision you make every day on the person, on both ends of the spectrum.
Yep. I like that. Trust is great. So for recruiting and building a team, so what's culture got to do with it? What did I say? Why culture? So for recruiting and building a team, so you can understand when you interview someone, when you're building a team, not just hiring people, but then developing them and building them, all of these things that have nothing to do with the skills that you have to inspect, build, repair a chimney have nothing to do with a lot of what you said. So when you recruit someone, you're talking about a lot of these intangibles, a lot of these things that are feeling based. It's a sense in which how we operate as a team, and that's really attractive. To say that we fix fireplaces, chimney, and masonry, do you want to come work for me? I don't know. I mean, I don't even know anything about that. Give me something here, you know? So that's why culture really matters when you are hiring, recruiting, and building a team. It's enjoyable to work with people who have purpose and passion. So culture, it gets you, so when we have culture in our companies, culture gets us out of the mindset that it's just about doing X, Y, and Z so that we can get a paycheck. Who all here wants a paycheck? Who all here wants their paycheck to be a little bit bigger next year and the following year, right? We all do. I'm not saying that we don't want that and we don't deserve that. But when we know that there's things that we're working towards, like being helpful, having trust, developing people personally, having a vision for them and a trajectory that suggests you can grow into this. We're going to educate you so that you feel like you're competent out there in the field with the customers and with your other peers. Taking pride in what you do. That all gives you a purpose and a passion that is outside of technically what you do with your hands. Now, let's take it a little bit further. Is the sum of who you are based off of the shirt that you're wearing? Is that who you are? Jason, is Ashbuster's shirt who you are? It's part of it, right? It's a big part of it. It's part of it, but it's not completely. Who here is a dad? Who here is a husband? Who here is a friend? We are all those things. That makes up a big part of our life, right? And everything that we do for those 40, 50, 60 hours a week, the way we experience that has a big impact in the way in which we experience all those other things. So if we can live and work in an environment that has a good culture, explain the way that you guys have explained it and defined it, it makes an enjoyable work environment. How do you feel when you go home after a hard day, everything went wrong with the job, and it just so happened when your boss normally answers, he did not pick up his phone? Ever had that happen? He didn't pick up his phone. Everything was set up for you wrong. Your partner that was working with you was a little bit of a pill that day because I don't know what happened, but he got up on the wrong side of the bed. So what happens when you go home that night and all of a sudden you got 3 kids just running at your legs trying to get your attention, or you have a wife that wants to talk to you? How do you feel about that in that moment? It was a rough day. You're not ready for that. But when we go to an enjoyable work environment with people who have purpose and passion that supersedes the nuts and bolts of what we do, that has a great impact on who we are as people. It has a great impact on our happiness and then how we go about addressing problems, personally and professionally. Number 3, happy people are willing to work harder. Working harder puts more money in everybody's pocket. Do you guys agree with that? Do you think about that guy on your team? That guy, right? He's not happy. He's kind of always just irritable and frustrated and negative, and it's never good. Is that guy always willing to do whatever it takes, work harder, be better? You want to hop in a truck with him? No, I don't think so. But happy people are willing to work harder. Do you guys agree with that? Do chimneys, fireplaces, and masonry just by default make you happy in and of themselves? They don't. I'm telling you, man, a brick can't make you happy. It's just, you got real small vision if a brick makes you happy. It doesn't. But to know that that brick allows for all these other things, that can make you happy. To know that I work for a company that so happens to work with brick and fireplaces and gas and some electrical and some framing and some concrete and some mortar and some clay and some stainless and some processes and some customer conversations and all of those things. How you do that and the reason why you do that makes you happy, or it doesn't. And I would suggest that life has a lot more to offer than to be somewhere where you're not happy. So working harder puts more money in everybody's pocket. So if you can be happy, you're going to work harder. And if you work harder, everybody gets a bigger paycheck in the end. You get opportunity, you get promotion, you get perks. It's true. Do you guys agree with that? Just don't nod your head. You can shake your head like, you can go this way if you want. You're like, that's a bunch of BS. We'll just edit that part out, the shaking your head part. So simply put, to not strive for good culture is uninspiring, selfish, and takes money out of everybody's pocket. That's the fact. We sit here at a table, tables, chairs, and we're thinking pretty positive right now, right? Yeah, we got this. Think back 3 weeks ago at that one situation with that one guy in that one scenario. What was culture like? It's not all rainbows and butterflies. Is that the norm, or is that the exception to the rule? Do we have good culture? Are you building good culture? Are you putting a bunch of things in a box and saying, we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about that this week. If not, you're giving that lip service right now. So to not strive for good culture is uninspiring, it's selfish, and it takes money out of everybody's pocket. So why? Because you don't want that. You don't want to be an uninspiring person or an uninspiring place to work. Who wants that? Man, you know what? I'm really set out for life just to really be an uninspirational person. I don't want my life to impact anybody. Just going to put my head down and do what I do, make some money along the way, and just live my life. Who's inspired by that? Is that selfish? Does that put more money in everybody's pocket? It doesn't. It doesn't. How do I create culture? What did I put on here? Okay. Let the cat out of the bag there. How do you create culture? So, vision plus values equals culture. So, talk to me about that. How do we create culture? So we know what culture is. It's working hard. It's being trustworthy. It's educating your team. It's having a vision for your team. It's personal development. Okay, so how do you do that? How are you doing that? Do you guys know how you do that? Leadership. What about leadership, Sam? Very good. Starts at the top. Starts with leaders. Who here is a leader in their company in some capacity? Who here has a leadership role? Oversees, develops, takes responsibility for people? A handful of you guys. Do you agree that culture starts with you? We do. What are you doing to create culture on Monday? Set the standard. So all those things that you put in the culture box, you're going to set that standard. You're going to listen. What's that?
Coming in Monday morning with a positive attitude. Outlook.
Yep, coming in Monday morning with a positive attitude. Very good. So, vision plus values equals culture. So not up here, but who has a vision? Not in your head, but who has it written down and who talks about it every week within your company? Do you guys have a vision? Raise your hand if you have one. A couple guys have one. You guys have one? Do you guys know what the vision is? Take over the world. I freaking believe that. I believe that. So you have a vision. It's probably written down. We don't know exactly what it is. We have an idea. We know it, but we don't know it, right? How about Sam? How about you? Sam, you got a vision?
Still ironing it out.
Yep.
It's always developing, changing, working.
Yep.
Each year, seasons, raising the benchmark higher.
Yep.
Yeah, we got quarterly visions and annual visions.
Yep. It's hard. It's hard to put yourself in that box. It's hard to say that at CMO, at Ashbusters, at Coastal Chimney. It's hard to say like, this is our vision. This is why we exist. This is our purpose. This is our cause. This is our passion. This is why we do it. And then to suggest that it's something that has nothing to do with your profession. Because that's what a vision is. It supersedes everything that you do. It supersedes everything that you do. So, a vision is something that you experience, that you feel. So for CMO, our vision is to create and give opportunity. You don't have to be a chimney sweep company to create and give opportunity. I don't have to do something to create and give opportunity within my business. Anybody at any point in time can create and give opportunity, no matter what. And so we flesh that out, we talk about it, and just like you, Sam, we're still marinating on what creating and giving opportunity means. One of our employees, he posted on Facebook a couple days ago that he took his daughter to the state fair. And that was a big deal for him. He talked about it on Facebook. That's why he put it there. It was a big deal for him to take his daughter to the fair. Shoot, if you know this guy, it's a big deal that he has a daughter. It's pretty awesome, actually. That's creating and giving opportunity. I kind of was, I wasn't supposed to be here. Darren Bebo was supposed to be here, and he couldn't be here, so they asked me. Darren asked me. That's really the only person that asked me. So, for better or for worse, right? But this is opportunity. What is the opportunity? It's the opportunity for me to write down, what is culture, Kourtney? What do you believe? You're talking about it, but what is it? So if it is a culmination of vision, values, and beliefs, lived out through the personality of your team, do you do that? That's hard. Write it down and then talk about it. And now every day when you go to work, do you do that? That's accountability. So get your vision written down, and then you'll be accountable to it. Values. I already talked about that. So values. Now, I want you guys, what time is it? Anybody tell me what time it is? 9:53. So values. There's a couple different values. There's permission to play values. And then there's aspirational values. And then there's the things that you actually value, because it's what you actually do. So what's a permission to play value? Because everything in this box, it's what makes up your culture. All right? It's probably a bunch of things that you value. It's the education, it's the working hard, it's the trust, it's the people caring, it's positivity, it's all those things. It's swag, looking good when you go out there in front of customers, looking better than the next company, right? Being in places where no one else is. That's your culture. So, did I do that? Just lost my train of thought. So your values, your permission to play. So if anybody here tells me that their values, I'm going to probably just call some people out, I don't know, but integrity is not a value of your company. Who hires anybody that doesn't have integrity? I was like, I can take it or leave it. Yeah, whether you actually do what you say you're going to do, it's okay. We all want integrity. That's like the first barrier to entry, right? Like, you don't even get to come into the office if you don't have integrity. That doesn't count. That's not a value. That's not unique. That's not personal to you. It doesn't set you apart. So when Ashbusters goes out there to a customer's house, and the customer's like, why should I hire you to rebuild my chimney or to put a new liner in? Well, you know what, ma'am? It's because all of our chimney sweeps are certified. Well, duh, you're a chimney sweep company. Did I not expect that? Did I not expect that? Do you think that your plumber isn't certified? Do you assume that he's not, so you want to verify when he gets there? No, the fact that you called him, you're like, dude, certified. That's why I'm calling him. So there's no value in that. It's assumed.
I think that depends on where you're at.
Sure.
Because in our industry, it's not required to be certified. The plumber or electrician requires most states to have a license.
Sure. I feel that.
We're a small percentage in my area that have certifications.
Right.
The majority have not.
Right. So I can understand that. I can agree with that. That is something that says like, hey, we do care about our industry and what we do, and we are certified, right? That's good. That's good. But hear me out. Once you say you're certified, it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Who here has people ask them if they're certified? So it's not really an issue, right?
No, you got to present that to the customer.
You got to
You
present.
got to build that value from the beginning.
But, so is it a value to the customer?
Most of them don't even know it exists.
They don't know.
So that's where I'm getting at here. They don't know it exists. So when you tell them that, they're like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's why I called you. Good. Perfect. What's next? Oh, and by the way, we got crazy integrity. Well, that's reassuring. Thank you. So what is it? What sets you apart? I would say it's some of the things that you guys have said. My point is, don't sell yourself short. You guys have values. Don't sell it short. It's not as basic as what we want to make it. It's the thing that you talk about. It's the thing that you feel. That's what you value. And that's inspirational. And that's culture. And that tells people, I want to come work there. That gives a customer a different feel as to who you are. So let's see what I'm going to read some things about culture. So this is culture. This box right here is culture. And inside it is the recipe for culture, okay? Hard work, honesty, humility, self-awareness, growth, serving others. That's solid. Workplace atmosphere. Is it fun? Is it enjoyable? Is it lighthearted? Are we uptight? Or do we enjoy being around each other? Dang. We know who this guy is. Good leadership at every level. Positive attitude, safety, communication, customer service, high quality work. Continuing education, care for and about employees. Loyalty, respect, teamwork, everyone on the same page. Positive work environment, not overworking hours, appropriate pay, happy employees. Appropriate pay equals happy employees. Those are all things that if you could point out, throw in a box, say, I want to throw something in a box and I want to make up culture. That gentleman is saying, that's how I'm making culture. I'm going to do those things. A lot of times, those are your values. You value high quality work. You value loyalty. We're loyal to one another. We value teamwork. We value positive work environment. If you value that and someone's constantly negative, what do? Culture says if they're constantly negative, but you value this above all else, and they're a great chimney sweep, what trumps being a great chimney sweep? The fact that you value positivity. It's everything. All right, what else we got? Culture is like vibes or flow among a group of people, a community. I like this guy, whoever this is. It's organic relationships coming together as a whole. I'm holding on to that one right there. I'm going to put that in my pocket. I like that. What else we got? This guy says, culture is easy to identify but difficult to describe. Values into action. That's good. The way people work within a company, relate to each other and their customer. It's kind of that personality, that posture, right? Trust, accountability, voice, innovation, family, support. These are all values. These are things that are different about your company. These are the things that you believe in. I know certifications matter. I get that. I know that. Talk about it. It's fine. But why? Talk about that more. Talk about that more. And that inspires people. All right, what else we got? Let's see here. Culture, bond, brotherhood, friendship, trust, drive, leadership, respect. I know exactly what that culture looks like. I know that. I guarantee what I would feel when I walk into that place. That resonates with me. I don't know who wrote it, but it resonates with me. If that is your culture, I want to come work there. That's awesome. Team, fun, experts, professional, care for customers. Pride in my career, respect for each other, and for clients. These aren't generic. This is something that you feel. Would you agree that if you said, so we have a culture, I've been reading all this stuff, would you agree that this is your culture? So I'm going to finish this out here, and I'll just, I will just kind of show you what I believe our culture to be as a company. I'll show you how we get there, what are the things that we believe and value, so that we can then, when we all walk into the office, when we walk into a customer's house, they experience CMO culture. Now, none of this is perfect, because I guarantee if we had a handful of our guys here, it'd be like, that's not true. It's hard. It's hard to live that out every day. So, CMO example, I'm going to start with our vision. So, what is our cause, purpose, passion? To create and give opportunity. We do this in a couple ways, and this needs to be fleshed out a little bit more. So, to create and give opportunity, it starts with creating a good place for people to work. A place to where people can come and flourish and enjoy their experience to the point that they would want to grow in that place, right? And then that they can go and achieve the goals and the aspirations that they have on a personal level. What is that? What are your goals and aspirations on a personal level? Maybe it's saving enough money for you and your family to go on a vacation a year or 2 vacations a year. Maybe it's saving enough money for your child to go to college because you didn't go to college, and you think that's a good thing. Maybe it's buying a new car because you've never had a new car. Maybe it's buying that new house because you've been renting for the last 5 years, and that's what you want to do. Maybe it's having enough money so that you can be generous because people have been very generous to you. So whatever it looks like, maybe it's making sure your family has everything that they need because for you didn't have everything that you needed growing up. I don't know. What is it? Help you get whatever you want in your personal life. So to create and give opportunity, that's opportunity. Another way in which we create and give opportunity is we like to be an impact outside of the walls of CMO. I think a lot of companies do this, right? But it's with purpose. What do we do outside the walls of CMO? Doesn't directly impact me, doesn't directly impact them, but it directly impacts people in our community. We were part of a golf tournament by another roofing company that has a nonprofit that helps people. I don't know what they do exactly, but they help people. It's called Universal Cares, right? They want to have an impact in their community. We've been able to be part of things like that. We've been able to help give to a foundation that was providing food for children that didn't have food because they weren't in school because of COVID. We were able to partner with that. I feel like we were able to create and give opportunity to those children and to those nonprofits by way of doing that. What allowed for that? Sweeping chimneys allowed for that, right? Building chimneys allowed for that. Whatever your aspirations are outside of work, what you do during work allowed for that. We also think that we want to have a global impact. Yeah, a little chimney company in Indianapolis wants to have a global impact to create and give opportunity. We were able to build a church/community center in Brazil last year. And we want to do more of those types of things. So creating and giving opportunity has a personal impact, it has a local impact, and for us personally, we want it to have a global impact. And we're just a chimney and masonry fireplace company. But that's what creating and giving opportunity says for us. That's what it means to us. Let's talk about our values. So our values are humility, hope, honesty. What is that? Habit, values, habit, and hustle. Habit and hustle. So some of these seem kind of generic. The way that we define them make it a little bit more personal to us. So humility. We really strive to have humility within our company. It's team over self. We think about our team before we think about ourselves. It's accountable. We're accountable. We serve others first. To be a humble person is to be fairly vulnerable. I think, are a company that wears our emotions on our sleeve pretty well, for better or for worse. Some people do it more than others. But we are vulnerable. We're transparent. And when you are a humble person, you're grateful. If you're a prideful person, you're not grateful. It's fact. You're not grateful because you've done it all. What do you need to be grateful for? But a humble person is grateful. We're hopeful. We believe in a preferred future. We're hopeful. We believe that the best is yet to come. Hope has a lot to do with kind of walking to the office every day being positive, right? Because we know the best is yet to come. Starting the day without assumptions. So it's easy to start your day assuming that things maybe will be more negative, or assuming that things will be certain ways, or, oh my gosh, it's a Monday, everything's gonna hit the fan. But we start the day without assumptions. The right kind of mindset, right kind of outlook. We're generous. So generous with our time, generous with our resources, generous with our emotions. And the way we interact with each other. We're generous. Honesty. I hated that this one made the cut when we went through our values, because it seemed generic, right? It's kind of like what I said about integrity. But for honesty, for us, it means having self-awareness. That we would know who we are in a good and bad way, our strengths and our weaknesses. And we would be vulnerable enough to talk about those things so that we can grow. Not hiding, but transparent and vulnerable. Telling the truth. And it's not like, hey, someone stole a rain cap, tell the truth. Okay, well, we believe in honesty, so therefore I'll tell you the truth. That's not what I'm talking about. We tell the truth. If someone did something that we didn't like or didn't uphold our values or what we believe as a company, we're going to tell the truth to that person. We're going to talk about it, right? There was a time at CMO where our culture was, man, I'm not going to be a snitch. I ain't going to say anything. That's horrible. Horrible. Giving constructive criticism is honesty. Habit. It's consistent. Trust the process. It's predictable. There's boundaries. There's discipline. We believe in that. We throw those things into our culture box. Hustle. Values and action. All of these things that we're talking about, it's applying those things. It's not reckless. We care enough to think outside the box. Ever been in that situation where the process suggests that this equals this equals this, and bam, 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 that's how it works. You're like, but it ain't working. Something's wrong. Hustle says, step back. Look at it. Think outside the box that y'all created. And figure out how to fix it. Okay? That's hustle. Ultimate ownership, take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for your team's actions. Willingness to do more, work smarter, not harder, teamwork. So our core focus, our vision is to create and give opportunity. Here's our niche. It's the thing that we do uniquely better, I believe, than anybody. And that's what we're aspiring to do, uniquely better than anybody. And that is to create an experience that exceeds the expectations within the chimney, masonry, and fireplace industry. We want to create a unique experience that's so much bigger than how we sweep or how we build or how we lay. It's all of those things. And then it's on top of that. It's a unique experience. It's when a customer walks away and be like, wow, that was a good experience. I've never worked with a fireplace company before, but that was a good experience. Now, we've had plenty of bad experiences. This is a work in progress, okay? But that is our niche. We believe that we're actually really good at that, creating a unique experience, not a generic experience. It's unique. And we're going to work hard every day to say, are we creating a unique experience or are we just creating an experience? Is it unique? You ever walk in that place, you're like, this is unique. We're going to create a unique experience. Our value proposition, we're going to throw that into the box. Values are restoring beauty, building equity, and giving peace of mind. What's different about CMO? We're going to restore beauty. It's not that we just put any mortar in between those bricks. It's not that we just pick any brick out of the brickyard and put it up on a wall. We pick the right ones. We care so much that we have guys that a big part of their job is brick matches. So that when we walk away from that chimney, we can take pride in it. We restore beauty. It's not just putting mortar in between bricks. It's not just putting a brick up there. We restore it so it's like it was in the beginning. And that's difficult, because I don't know if you guys know this, but houses that were built with a brick 50 years ago, that brick doesn't exist. There's some version of it. It's hard, but we're passionate about it. We're going to put that in our culture box, right? We're going to build equity. And so when we build equity, we go out to a customer's house and we're going to ensure that they're able to maintain what they have. So we're not going to take away equity from them. We may not add more equity, but we're going to make sure that they get what they need to build equity, maintain their equity in their home, maintain the value. Ever come across that chimney company that's taken value away from a customer? Have you ever been that company? We have. Taken value away from a customer. But this holds us accountable every day to build equity. Are we making it better? Are we allowing them to maintain what they have? Thirdly, giving peace of mind. When a customer has a problem like a leaky chimney or a poor draft or a gas leak or spalling brick, or they had a fire, after we leave the house, do they have peace of mind? Can they know a handful of things? Can they know that, one, we were qualified to do the job right? Can they say that, man, no matter what, those people really helped me and I know that they're going to be there no matter what? We give them peace of mind. We want them to know that you can come to CMO and you're going to get what you need and it can be out of sight, out of mind because we took care of it, because we got you, right? That's what we believe. So we give peace of mind. I asked my team, what is culture for CMO? I know what I want culture to be. I think I know what I want it to look like. I think I know what I want to write on a box, or I want to put all these ingredients in the box and I say, here's culture. But I think right now, when we think about CMO culture, it feels like it's fairly hospitable and inviting. That's who we are. That wasn't my words. That was consistently their words. Ah, yeah, right on. Donuts and coffee. There we go. That's real, though. That's real. It's real. So whatever your culture is, it's real. Because you just don't go do culture. You just don't go do hospitality. You do a bunch of things that then says, man, you're hospitable. People don't just walk up to you and be like, man, you're a nice guy. Give me context. Why? Well, you did this, you did this, you were this, you were this. It's a culmination of those things that says, you're nice. Your culture in your business is a culmination of who you are. And you got to fight for that. You have to plan for it. You have to know what it is. Otherwise, you will miss it every day. So, what was it? Culture is overlooked and at best stumbled upon, but it's as real and strategic as your most detailed SOP. We may know how to sweep a chimney, but if we don't create a unique culture for our team, we are overlooking the most valuable part of your business. You guys know what culture is. Write it down and fight for that. Be accountable to that. Hold one another accountable to that. When your value is this, when your culture suggests you're this and your values don't line up, hold that person accountable. Because it's good to work in a good place. That's all I got. Do you guys have any questions for me? Happy to answer anything.
Can you talk about the unique experience?
Unique experience, yeah. No, wait, man, I can give you my tricks of the trade, bro. It's hard to define. A unique experience. I'll be honest, man, it's not overly unique. But it's things like listening. It's things like genuinely caring. It's things like that customer is not a means to an end. If you're in sales, that customer is not a means to a bigger commission check. If you're in production, that job is not a means to getting off so you can go home, right? It's not a means to getting off at the end of the day. It's like you sincerely want to be there and help them. I think some of the nicest guys that work at CMO is our production team. And here's why I say that. Because they have the dirtiest job. If I ever have the opportunity to be frustrated, irritated, maybe a little bit disgruntled, it's when I'm hot, sweaty, and dirty. And something's working against me. And we constantly hear from our customers is that you guys were so nice. The experience was great. It's not my words, it's their words. We track it. So I think sincerity, and we listen. If you listen to people, they will tell you everything that you need to know to help them. Ask good questions, listen, and you'll be able to help them. When you don't ask questions, you're not listening, and you're doing what you think they need versus what they believe they need. So that's one way in which we create a unique experience. I mean, a couple other things. It was my 40th birthday a couple weeks ago. I took the team paintballing. This is fun. And I got lit up, okay? So at the end, it was like I had to run across, we got like 20-some guys just, we got a video of it, And so I had welts all over me. That's a unique experience, right? You guys not taking yourself so serious to where you won't let your team just blow you up. That's fun. So that's part of it, right? Who here does fun things with their company? Gosh, we don't do enough. We need to do more. That's a unique experience for your team. When the managers walk through the office, when the owner walks through the office, does everybody's butt pucker a little bit? Who wants that? We're all in this together, right? Just another guy. I don't need that. I'm not special. I'm not any better, any worse. I just do my job. Everybody has a job to do. That's a unique experience. Any other questions? All right, fellas. Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh. Yeah.
We have here.
Yeah.
I rated them, but you can re-rate them.
You did?
I did.
Okay, very good.
This is a solid third.
Okay.
Leo, that's your second.
Okay.
because He drew and
Dude,
told us how to get a hold of them, and then that. Now you draw a picture, you get.
dude, I love that. Okay, third place is, oh shoot. Leo. Leo, we got cap, clay tile, crown, brick, mortar, stone, flashing, step counter. Smoke chamber, smoke shelf, damper, firebox, hearth, foundation. Who's Leo?
This guy right here.
Yeah, Chimney Solutions representing. Nice. Ashbusters, we got one. We got second place for Ashbusters right here. We got cap, crown, flue, smoke chamber, damper, firebox, hearth, smoke shelf, hearth exterior, and we got their website and a diagram. Man, it's freaking money. I like that. Dang, I'm gonna let Mark know, give you a raise. And then we got, I don't know who this is. It's no name, just a humble individual. Do you know who wrote this one?
That's the purple guy over there.
Okay. All right. We got 317 Sweep coming in number 1. That's good because let me read off this, okay? Flue tiles, damper, crown, chase cover, sheathing, brick, rain cap, water shield, mortar joints, brick, block, footer, firebox, fire brick, refractory panels, smoke chamber, liner, siding, trim, fire stop, attic shield, flashing, cap, step, through wall flashing, ash pit, clean outdoor. That's good.
He got outside the box, that's why I gave him.
That's good. I like that. So I was supposed to bring a gift card, but Sam, here's the deal. I'm gonna have to take you out for lunch, all right? Dude, you've been dodging me for years, bro. So we're gonna go out for lunch, okay? Deal? Got it on video, right? Deal? Okay, we're going out for lunch. We got a gift card right here. We're gonna get you started with 25 bucks, all right? 25 bucks, all right, there we go. Thank you, fellas. I enjoyed being with you.